Hey everybody, welcome to today's extra content video. I'm going to look at something that some of you may have explored, some of you may not have, and it's just a point of interest that I really like, and it's the overlaying of different scales and how they can interlink. Theoretically, we can talk about something called modulation, but that's a little bit different than what I'm looking at today. Modulation is when you move from a major or a minor scale into the relative minor or major scale within the same piece of music. It gives the effect of a key change without having to use different notes, but that's a video for a different day. Today what we're looking at is how do we overlay scales and what is the use of them. Okay, it's a really cool thing. The more that you use it, the more ways you'll find to use it. It's something you've got to sit down and experiment with. And it's not necessarily just for guitar. You can do this on your piano as well. You can do it on a saxophone. You can do it on any melodic instrument that you can do scales on. Piano and guitar are probably the two easiest instruments to do it because they're sitting there right in front of you and the patterns are quite easy to see. Wind instruments, it's doable, but you have to pay a lot of attention, and it does pay to have a pen and paper, take some notes as you're doing it. Okay, so I'll give you a bit of an idea of what we're talking about. First of all, I'll just show you a major scale. I'll do the A major. Quite often you'll see it extended because it's a guitar. Technically that's a B, so that's an extra note. But that's kind of what we're looking into today, those extra notes. Now that's just across 2 octave plus 1 extra note, all in one area of the guitar, which is really handy if you're trying to learn to go fast because you're not having to move all the way up the guitar, and it's a good way to get your technique working. All right, so if I was playing an A and I wanted to do a minor scale that uses the same notes, so the relative scale, I'd go looking for the F sharp minor. Okay, and I can add to finish the actual pattern. Now that was in a slightly different position. That was to show you the pure minor scale pattern. But because they are relative, they do use the same notes. So I can go from here and I have this extended minor scale, and I've overlaid it over the top of the major scale. Now what you might notice is I literally used the major scale with the minor bottom end. But if you go and compare the notes in the two scales, you'll find they were the same notes. Overlaying it over the major scale gives you more notes to use. Now if you're interested in songwriting, this gives you more options as to melodies, chord progressions, riffs, licks, solos, whatever you're looking for. You can even get really experimental with the sounds. So sometimes you can overlay different scales. I've got a song where we're using a chromatic scale and we then put a melodic line over it with a violin using a major scale just to give a happier kind of feel to the song, and it worked really well. On guitar, for instance, if you're looking for your chromatic scale, you're looking at this. And again, if you do a recording of yourself playing a major scale or a major scale progression, you can overlay that over the top. This is purely experimental. I'm not doing the video to give you exact steps on how to do it. What I want you to do is take the information and experiment with it. You might go one direction in a major and then solo in the opposite direction through a minor, or a 7th diminished or an augmented scale, or whatever you can find. The more time you spend on your instrument experimenting with these ideas, the more things you're going to find. So there you go. There's a little bit of a extended learning, something that we don't normally cover in classes, so that you can just sit down and consume hours, months, years experimenting with that sort of stuff. So good luck, enjoy. It'd be great to hear your feedback on how you go. We'll see you in class next time.